Hey, I'm Abe, and today we're going to be talking about researching investments. And it's one thing to talk about investing and personal finance, but it's another altogether to actually do it yourself. Picking one ETF versus another or evaluating them against mutual funds, it can be really daunting. So let's start talking about some of the many ways you can think about these things critically. For the sake of discussion, let's look at the S&P 500 ETF SPY. I just Googled SPY, and this is what comes up. At first glance, you get some information right away. Now, I'm recording this on Tuesday, September 8th, so the markets are closed and nothing is moving right now. But first off, you'll probably notice the price, $333.21. And this may dictate to you, or you may look at this and determine or decide if you have a small amount of money that you're looking to invest, whether you can or you can't afford this. Now, there are a lot of brokerages out there that facilitate what's known as fractional share investing. So you don't actually have to buy one full share of SPY in order to start investing in it. And they're not hard to find, but it's just something to be aware of and something to consider when looking at an investment. So we've got the price, we've got a little bit of information. You might also notice that it's mostly red. Now today was a bad day on the market. Last week ended as a bad week. But there's a negative number in performance, and it lost $9 or effectively 2.73% today. We can expand this, and this is just for one day. You can see that there are many ways to click around. You can see the last 5 days, last 6 months, 1 month, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of information available right here. But just looking at the data at the bottom here, you can see here that we've got a dividend yield of 1.65%, which means that at the end of the year, you're going to be getting 1.65% back in dividends. And so that's in addition to whatever the stock does, whether it goes up or goes down. And we can also see the 52-week high and 52-week low, which tells us a little bit. I mean, obviously right now we're not at the very peak. We're not at 358.75. So this is just at first glance. You can see the overall sales price of this ETF. You can see the basic performance if you want to click through and over periods of time. You can see the dividend yield. You can see the 52-week high and low, which is basically the spread of over the last 12 months. You know, what peaks has it reached and what valleys has it dropped to. And, you know, there's a little bit of like daily information or to the time period here. Now, if we want to dive deeper, which we'll do in the next video, we can start clicking on some of these links below. But to start with, this is kind of a takeaway. It's right now you've had this particular ETF had a bad day. It had a bad 5 days. Last month wasn't bad. Like, you can start to get a feel for how this has performed. To do a little bit deeper analysis, though, we're going to have to click over and see what more information we can dig out of this. Hit the subscribe button if you're learning something and you'd like to learn more. Hit the notifications bell, and that'll help you as well. Hit me in the comments with whatever questions you might have coming out of this. Watch the next video, and we'll get a little bit deeper into it as we go along. And this should be a continuing series. If you have investments that you are trying to decide between, like you're saying, I want to invest in ETF A, mutual fund B, or maybe mutual fund C, but I'm not sure which one of these to pick. Why don't you list them out in the comments? I'm not going to tell you which one is better. I'm not going to advise stock picks or anything like that. But what we can do is we can look at the three and we can sort of compare and contrast them. And I can at very least walk through how I might look at and analyze and think about them, which may not be the way that you would or the absolute best way to do it. But at least you see kind of the way I am thinking about it critically. And you can use that or not use that as you see fit. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.